record. Okay. So chapter 4 of Hatha Yoga Pradipika Samadhi, verse 1. Salutations to the Guru Shiva, who is regarded as Nada, Bindu, Kala, which is sound, nucleus, and emanting ray. One wholly devoted to them goes into the eternally stainless state. Shiva is the mantra of the ultimate state of existence and non-existence, manifest and unmanifest. Shiva is beyond prakritic attributes. An example, beyond Nada, Bindu, Kala, but also beyond the source from which they emerged, eternal and ever omnipresent, without change, immutable, unattainable, but by yoga, union. That was said by Srimad Devi Bhagavatam. It is something impossible to define or conceive by the finite mind. Shavatites praise Shiva, Vaishnavites Vishu, Vedantins Brahman, Shaktas and Tantrics Shakti, followers of Samkhya philosophy Purusha. They are the names of the same reality. Veneration of Shiva originates from the Vedas, in which he is known as Rudra. The mantra Shiva came after the Rig and Atharva Vedas. In the Vedas, Rudra is depicted as a wild nature god controlling the environmental elements. His origin seems Dravidian and was inherited by the Kapalikas. Only after 200 BC in the Yajur Veda does he take form as Shankara, Shiva, Mahadeva, and is considered to be Ishvara. In the Atharva Veda and the Brahmans, Rudra is known as Pashupati, the controller of the animal instincts. By the time of the Upanishads, he has become the creator. Shiva represents the principle of consciousness. Thus, throughout the gradual historical emergence of Shiva, we see the evolution of individual consciousness from primal understanding to enlightenment. Shiva and Guru are synonymous terms indicating the existence of supreme consciousness and reality. It is within everybody and yet beyond everybody and objects. When that reality is realized, the inner Guru or Shiva becomes known. Such a person is entitled to be called Guru. Traditionally, there are 3 lines of Guru: Divine Guru or Diva Yoga, Siddha Guru or Siddhahoga, and Human Guru or Mahavuga. Sadhakas devoted to a particular devata, which is a form of God or spiritual path, will have a guru of different lineage. Shiva is the Adir Guru, the first source of everything. And though he is the guru of gurus and beyond lineage, a lineage has descended from him. According to Tantra, Shiva, or consciousness, cannot exist alone. Side by side with Shiva is the aspect of Shakti. Shiva, or consciousness, is inactive and inert. Shakti is the active and changing aspect and is actually none other than the reflection or energy of Shiva. In the scheme of creation, whether manifest or potential, Shakti is the opposite polarity to Shiva. Consciousness is the silent witness. Shakti is the doer. The midpoint between these 2 polar tensions is the Bindu. When the 2 polarities meet in the Bindu or nucleus, the nucleus is exploded and manifests Nada, sound, and Kala, emanating ray. Nada is the first manifestation of prana, the beginning of creation. Bindu is both macrocosmic and microcosmic. Ultimately, there is a Maha Bindu, the entire conscious creation. Then Para Bindu, the form of Vishvara, Sukshma Bindu, the individual mind, and Stutala Bindu, the gross Bindu in the form of ovum or sperm. The emergence of Bindu is the evolution of the primordial Shakti in manifestation of mind and matter. In the initial Maha Bindu, called Shiva, Brahman, Parameshwara, consciousness and Shakti are not different but one. The consciousness is known as Chit and the Shakti as Chitdrupini. through which consciousness experiences itself. Here, Shakti is coordinate, not subordinate, and is called Parasvavit or Samyaya Vasta, which indicates total equilibrium. When movement or spandana takes place in Shakti, the Shiva Tattva or element and Shakti Tattva or element emerge as separate identities. When they unite, the thrill of the union is nada. This is the first movement of Shiva Shakti, and the product is called Sada Shiva Tattva or Turiya Brahman. It contains the potential of nada. Through Shakti, though Shakti is still unmanifest, a very subtle and pure notion of existence or being arises. After this point, the Shakti Tattva becomes predominant. Sadakaya, the combined Shiva Shakti, evolves into Bindu Shakti, which is the Isvara Tattva, Para Bindu, in which knowledge or Jnana Shakti predominates. This Para Bindu is known as Jnanavasta Shakti. An example, the totality of Shakti. It is what is called Shabda Brahman, Vak, the word, the cosmic causal body, and the causal body, or the cosmic causal body and causal body of Nada, the realm of Satyaloka Shuna. From Ishvara emerged three Bindus known as Nada, Bindu, and Bija or Kala. It is the movement of Nada and Bindu together which forms Kala, or the emanating ray. They are the three qualities or gunas of Sattva, Raja, and Tamas, and are also known as the three Devatas, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshvara or Shiva. These three Bindus are predominated by the Shakti Tattva. The Nada, or Shabda as it is often called, is described by Sir John Woodroffe as the stress or the attracting force between Bindu and Bija or Kala. The union of Bindu with Bija is manifest sound or Dhwani. The evolution of individual consciousness means bringing the stress or tension between the two polarities of Shiva and Shakti, time and space, or consciousness and prana, closer together. When they meet in the nucleus or Bindu, the total potential of consciousness and Shakti explodes. Only then can true experience of Shiva be attained. From Bindu, consciousness is expressed by means of Shakti. When consciousness and prana meet in the nucleus of matter, Muladhara, Bindu, Kala, and Nada emerge. Kala is primal Shakti, the power through which 36 principles of creation come into manifestation and the movement of prana in the physical body. Nada is the stream of consciousness flowing from the Bindu to the object. By uniting these two within the framework of our body and consciousness, one returns to the original Bindu, Shuna. When that is attained, it is moksha, liberation. In the Guru Gita of Skanda Purana, it states, prostrations of the Guru, who is pure knowledge, eternal, peaceful, beyond space, full of light, unattached, beyond Bindu, Nada, and Kala. That is what is to be realized. I'm gonna pause there for a moment. I felt like and there's a whole picture here. I felt like that chapter was like the Dr. Seuss book of yoga philosophy. So here is the evolution of Bindu.
Holy crap. Okay, there's Shiva and Shakti. There's Nada, Shakti.
Yeah, so there's probably like a whole, we'll be getting into a lot more of this, I'm sure, as she goes on.
Huh.
All right. I'll go on to verse 2 if you want. It seems long, but I won't. We don't have to read the whole thing today. Or do you want to pause here and have a discussion?
That's up to you. I am gonna sign out at around 8:25 though, because I have to go meet somebody.
All right, so why don't we pause today and we'll have a quick discussion. We'll move into breath and we can start meditation by 8:05 so that you can be done in time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and since I was stealing time for you earlier in the week by going over, we'll give it back to you.
Well, I was a part of the thievery, so. Yeah. That I love drawings like that attempt to visualize the complex text.
Yeah.
And the complex and the concepts that were just outlined. So my book is somewhere upstairs because yesterday I was working with there on Mula Bandha, and so I left my book upstairs. But I will definitely take another look at this. It's quite something. Okay, so Ishwara Tattva, Vishnu. All right, so it goes from gross, subtle, causal.
I feel like it's like the periodic table of elements of yoga right here.
Oh yeah.
I vaguely remember in one of my lectures with the Bhakti people, them talking about these words, but they were more in reference to like the different forms of Vishnu. My brain is not making sense of the connection.
Well, this is where it starts getting confusing for me because like every word means everything together. Like there's just so many different words, and at that point I just start getting overwhelmed and I'm like, I'm just gonna put this back in the corner and deal with it another time.
well, I feel like we've really studied. She was talking about Sankhya philosophy, like way down at the bottom, the gross of Purusha and Prakriti.
Yeah.
And she's like, here's what's above it. Or it's what Rajas. I guess as she reads, it'll make more sense. Like Brahma is the creator of universes. Like, I think I told you guys that analogy of like Vishnu laying down in the ocean of space, and then from his navel comes the lotus, and out of that comes Brahman, and Brahman organizes all the millions of universes that are like little bubbles coming out of the pores of Vishnu. So like, I guess that's the next level up, like the organizer from Rajas, like the movement. And then above that, Ishvara is Vishnu, right?
And it has
yeah.
Vishnu here.
So that's like the form of Vishnu that creates universes. Like, oh, that's why it's causal. Like it's the creative aspect of the supreme consciousness, that it's like spilling out creation. And then the other form is like, I don't know if like the stories kind of help me make sense. The other form is like Vishnu existing in the anti-material plane of these like antimatter planets, where he's just like having leelas, or like the play of like just the divine play of just like enjoyment, and he's with his counterpart. But it says shoulda. I can't remember. I have to find that lecture. And like, this is the place. Oh no, maybe it was in that book I was reading, that crazy book. This is the place where like everyone's gonna go when they leave their bodies, like when we get to the end of Kali Yuga and there's the dissolution of all the material realms, all the souls will go to like the antimatter realms, like where you can't really go there now because your body is suited to earth. Is that like bananas? That sounds bananas. I don't think I'm describing it very well, but like Par Brahman is like Vishnu expressing, like Vishnu can express itself in billions of different ways. So it's like it's how subtle the expression is. Like it's on a totally different plane of existence on top. And then the second one is like sort of the causal, like the underlying creation of the universe we experience. And then the bottom one is like the universe we experience. I don't know if that helps. Is that what she said?
Amanda, you said that Brahma was the organizer.
Yeah.
If Brahma is the organizer, are we talking about organizing the visible universe, the non-dark matter stuff?
Yeah.
New is
Yeah.
more, okay, yeah.
The material universe. And then
Yeah.
underneath the material universe is the anti-material universe, which is influencing the material universe, but we're not aware of it.
Mhm.
It's like when they're doing experiments with antimatter and it just pops out and they don't know where it goes.
Right, or they'll see effects and they're guessing it's caused by something like antimatter because they can't figure out what the hell is causing those effects.
Right. And like the math isn't working out because it's not, it doesn't have the same properties as what we know as matter. But I read that like antimatter is a form of like the physical still. It's like,
Mhm.
it still can experience dissolution or something the
Mhm.
way that matter can. But, and there's like a higher ethereal plane where everything is permanent, like there's no end. Like you can go to some of these anti-material planets and there's still like they have a death date, these people who are living there, like their bodies will still die but not as like easily or quickly as ours do, or I don't know, that's what the book is saying. But then like the higher planes, it's like there's no body, you know what I mean, like it's
Yeah.
just consciousness. So I guess that's Par Brahman, Nirvana Samadhi, Parameshwara. I feel like I have to look up every single one of these words. Is she? I guess in the next chapter she'll go
Yeah,
through
I
what
mean,
this
this
one
is
means.
only the start of chapter 4. I'm hoping, and she might not. I mean, but we can always go back to the picture. But I feel like she does a decent job going, like dumping it on you and then kind of unraveling it. So
Yeah.
she does have a whole chapter to get into this. And if
Yeah.
not, we might have to be like, Amit, we need you again.
Oh, sweet Amit. He's been like checking in with me nonstop. Yeah,
Uh,
I'm sure he'd come on and explain this if we wanted.
but I feel like we should see what she's gonna say. I think she was just like dumping all the words on us. Maybe.
Yep, this is planned confusion and then, you have to stay and get it sorted out.
Well,
But I
and
mean, thank you for your explanation because that really helped.
yeah.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah, it does. Don't laugh, it helped.
No, I know. That's why I like people are like, but you're a Jnana yogi. Why do you study bhakti so much? It's like, because it's like happy stories to explain these crazy ideas that are like so hard to stomach.
That's boy,
I love it.
aware that one of the things we are here to do is to tell stories. We tell stories to ourselves and to others,
Yeah.
So.
But isn't that like what a Gyan does? Like they want to study everything, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I guess that is. Yeah.
And I'm more like, okay, how do I do this? Like, if I can't do it, then I don't want to know about it. All right. So let's do a few rounds of alternate nostril breathing. I'll stop sharing this picture. Yeah, and I think there's more pictures to come because I just scanned ahead, seeing how long verse 2 was. So I saw another chart coming up. So we'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. I think we have about 130 more pages left, which isn't that much considering how long this book is.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm like excited to start the Gita. I almost was like, let's just stop reading this one and just start the next one. But I'm like, no, we're meant to be reading this one. And I don't know how many people would join this time of year. It's like the holidays crazy. Like when we start the Gita, I feel like people will be hopefully ready.
Yeah, I think like January
Yeah,
1st, we
active
should start the
people.
Gita.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think people are so interested in this book. We're all dorks though, so we're into it.
I mean, I know somebody else that's reading this, and I was like actually reading this book right now, and I'm like, oh, we come together in the morning. I think it's just like hard time, like with work.
With work, yeah.
It's just
I agree.
I'm making it like a priority.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. It's a hard time. It would be a hard time without COVID, and it's a harder time with COVID. So.
I don't think there's another time that would work. I just don't think enough people would prioritize an hour for themselves. If we moved it to evening, they wouldn't join either. So
that would be worse, actually, I think.
yeah, I know.
But anyway.
All right, so now we're at 8:10. So Sue, you cut out whenever you need to.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do like what I've been doing. I'll do a few rounds. I'll set the timer, and you do as many rounds as you want of breathing, and then you cut out when you need to.
Thank you. You guys have a good day and good luck today, Amanda.
Thanks, Sue.
All right, I'm gonna mute you guys. So sitting up nice and tall, bringing right hand over to your face, close your right nostril with your right thumb, inhale through your left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Continuing on like that with your own breath, adding locks and retention if it's something you're working on. I'm going to set the timer. You continue on with your breath for as many rounds as you need. Bringing hands in front of your heart. Namaste.